Welcome po to Reviewers, a compilation of exam reviewers and item explanations. So let's focus on this given flowchart. What is the input number if the result is 440? Is it A, 21, B, 74, C, 204, D, 423, or E, 440? Huwag niyo pong kalimutan na yung tanong dito is yung input number. Ibig sabihin, ano po yung number na inilagay natin as we start our flowchart and resulted after considering all the processes in our flowchart to 440. We are not looking for the result if we are going to input 440 because 440 po is already the result. This would mean that we can attack this by choosing 3 different steps. Now, 440 can be a result after adding 17, right? 440 may have been resulted after squaring it before after subtracting a certain number from here and squaring it. And 440 could also be a result at this instance. So we're going to work backwards po to determine what was the number we are going to input here. Now, you can try using all of these values starting from here and deciding is it odd or is it not odd or even. And then if it is not an odd number, you proceed here and check if it's 440 before you can eliminate that option. Or proceed here, same thing, before you can eliminate another option. But it will take us a lot of time kasi nga, there are 5 options. Instead, let's move backwards and having only 3 different ways to determine what is the original number that we placed on the start of our flowchart. So let's attack this portion here. What if 440 is the result of this process? So we are actually adding 17 to get 440, right? Again, 440 if from here means that's the result after adding 17. And since we are working backwards po, what if we subtract 17 dito? So 440 minus 17 is 423. The next thing you need to do is it really a result, or 423 is a prime so that you were able to add 17 to get 440. If it's not a prime, then this process is not possible. Hence, we remove this. Is 423 a prime? Kasi we are working backwards. This could only be true if it's prime. However, looking at this is actually divisible by 3. Because the divisibility rule of 3 is when you add all the digits 4, 2, and 3, that's 6 plus 3 is 9. If this is divisible by 3, then the original number 423 with digits 4, 2, and 3 is also divisible by 3. What's the point of looking into divisibility? Because since we have shown here that it's divisible by 3, automatically, this is non-prime. Kasi yung prime numbers are numbers with factors 1 and itself. That's it. So if this is non-prime, this is no longer possible because you could only add 17 to 423 to get 440 if it's a prime. Since it's not, so we remove this entire process here. So instead of eliminating an option to which you could do again, placing this here, of course this is very easy. Is it odd? Is yes. Is it prime? But when you look at all the numbers going forward, it's very large. Mahirap na po yung ating usual process. So we're working backwards. Okay? We are not eliminating the options. We are eliminating the possibility of the processes. Now, since it's not possible for this option, is it possible for this to be an option here? Okay? So is 440 a result? Since we are sure that it's not prime, right? Or I mean, after this process here. By the way, let's go back here. So, is it an option of squaring it right after subtracting 1? Take note the process is subtracting 1 and squaring it. There's a order of process. So since we're doing backwards, let's do squaring. Is 440 a perfect square? A perfect square is a square, a number that results from multiplying a number to itself. Now, this is where it gets complicated now, but of course, you just need to remember what are the perfect squares. The closest perfect square here is 20 squared, because 20 times 20 is 400. Now, you might want to check that. Okay? The next perfect square of integers, we have here 21 squared. That's actually equal to, if I'm correct to assume, that's 441. Because that's 21 times 21. You'll have 1, 2, 2, 4. So you will have 441. But take note that our number is 414. Now, you might want to, debate that, sir, you forget to subtract 1, because if you are going to subtract 1, that's 440. But wait, you just need to take note of the process. 440 is the result after subtracting 1 and squaring it. So by the reverse process, we start with the squaring it. And when you say subtract 1, the reverse operation for that is plus, plus 1. Okay? So that's the process. However, as mentioned, it's no longer possible because the square of 21 is 441. This would mean 440 is not a perfect square. If it's not a perfect square, it's not a product or a result of squaring a certain number. Okay? Because it should only be 440, not 441, not 400. So this process is also not possible now. Okay? Please review what I have said. You might want to go back to this video or review the previous portions of this video to understand it again. But again, not to make this longer, this is no longer possible because 440 is not a perfect square. This would mean that 440 could only be a result of this process. And since we only have one process, makakuha na po natin yung exact input number. Because when you do the reverse process, 440 are a result of adding 32 to a double. So we are going to subtract 32. Okay? So 440 minus 32 is 408. Then, since it is a result of doubling it, we are going to divide it by 2 by reverse operation. You will have here a result of 200 and 204, right? So 204 is here. But don't be don't be so sure yet because you still need to look into this. I-consider natin yung option dito. Because if it's odd, it should be in this process. But we all know that 204 is an even number. Hence, it follows the correct process of moving to this because it's not an odd. So we move to that direction. So what will be our final answer? The input number of 440 in this given flowchart is, sorry for this highlighter, is 204. Okay, you might want to stop here, but let me check this using a process, using the process given by the flowchart, and let's check if it's really correct. If our number is 204, is it odd? No. So proceed here. Double that, so times 2, you will have 408. Then you add 32, you will get 440. So this is the correct answer. So this type of video shows us that for this type of flowchart, it's okay not to eliminate options. We can eliminate possible process to get our intended result. Just make sure you know what are primes, odd numbers, perfect squares, so that you would know the correct answer. Once again po, ito po yung reviewers. Don't forget po to subscribe on our channel, like our videos, and if kaya naman po, pakishare na lang din po. And leave a comment po for our future videos improvement. And follow our FB page and stay tuned for more videos. Maraming salamat!